Welcome back to Sleepy Tales by John. What would happen if we swapped our moon with the other moons in the solar system? Tides would rise and drown entire cities. The boundary between day and night would blur into something unrecognizable. A new ice age would quietly form, colder and more haunting than any era humanity has ever lived through. And the entire night sky would be washed in a tungsten-colored glow, a strange metallic light we've only ever seen in odd wandering dreams. Tonight we'll invite each guest, one by one, to visit Earth's sky. Titan, Ganymede, Europa. Each moon carrying its own personality, its own breath, and its own mysterious influence over our fragile world. Every discovery tonight, whether small or immense, will fall softly into place, like a puzzle piece in the vast cosmic story. A story so wide and beautiful, it stretches beyond the reach of human thought. If you enjoy these slow, drifting journeys, you can like, subscribe, or share your thoughts. Perhaps your whisper might bring another wandering soul to rest here for a while. Let us begin this grand adventure with a true giant, Titan. This moon of Saturn is immense, the second largest moon in the entire solar system. It's even bigger than Mercury, the smallest planet, and yet, when it slips into our sky, it moves so gently, you can almost imagine hearing the soft shift of invisible winds gliding around it. Under Titan's glow, the night sky turns into a tender amber haze, like a sunset that refuses to fade away. Everything grows softer. The horizon, the shadows of trees, even the silence itself. Earth, which has always wrapped itself in the silver shawl of our old moon, now wears a new cloak of warm, deep mystery. But beneath this gentle beauty lies a transformation too vast for the eye to catch at once. Titan is no small companion. It is large, powerful, a massive heart beating with its own slow, ancient rhythm. And its presence changes the very breathing of Earth's tides almost instantly. From distant shores, the ocean begins to move differently, not roaring like storms, but lifting in deep, heavy layers, like the long, awakened sigh of a sea disturbed from centuries of sleep. Waves crawl farther inland than you've ever seen, then fall back and leave behind long, delicate lines, as if the ocean had pressed its fingerprints on the sand. The tides rise and fall, but no longer with the soft, predictable pulse of our familiar moon. Now they swell with weight, with depth, as if Titan were pulling the waters toward itself with an invisible thread. The ground compresses, rocks tremble lightly, and warm breaths from deep within the earth slip upward through thin cracks. Tiny streams of heat rising like the soft exhale of a body settling deeper into meditation. And then, before your eyes, something quietly beautiful begins. The thick fog surrounding Titan starts to change. Bathed in direct sunlight, Titan warms. Within its haze is cold methane, a dense, liquid cloak. And under this unexpected warmth, the cloak thins. Methane molecules rise, drifting into space like dawn mist lifting from a quiet lake. Titan begins to reveal its true skin. Dark plains, ancient ridges, and a wide, deep sea unlike anything on Earth. This ocean, not of water, but of liquid methane, looks like a black mirror, reflecting Titan's own amber glow, beautiful in a strange, haunting, familiar, yet foreign way. In that moment, if you lift your eyes to your imagined sky, Titan hangs there like a lantern floating in the night. Its light does not wake you. It soothes you, settling into your breath like a long, gentle sigh. It doesn't blaze like the full moon, nor gleam icy white like winter moonlight. Titan glows in warm amber tones, soft and calm, the kind of light you'd expect from a bedside candle. Yet inside that candle lies an entire world larger than Earth. Still, beneath this softness, Titan holds a strength that Earth must bow to. Our oceans churn more fiercely, Our climate begins its subtle shift, and coastal cities feel the uneasy pull of rising tides. Titan is not cruel. It is simply doing what a giant moon does, expressing its gravity, speaking its story, breathing its rhythm. And Earth, sensitive and alive, listens. So Titan, without meaning harm, leaves its first imprint, a mesmerizing beauty, paired with tides far stronger than anything we've known. And under its amber glow, light as vapor, our journey is only beginning. Now then, what if we swapped our moon with Ganymede? Ganymede is the largest moon in the solar system, even larger than Mercury. It is the only moon besides Earth that has its own magnetic field, proof that something powerful stirs within it. Its surface is a tapestry of ancient dark regions and bright grooved bands, carved by tectonic movement. And beneath its thick crust of ice lies a vast subsurface ocean, potentially holding more water than all of Earth's oceans combined. Because of this, Ganymede is one of the most promising places to search for life beyond our world. If this great moon stepped into our sky, it would cast down a cold, crystalline light, like a silk scarf woven from ice, and every river, lake, and ocean on Earth would shimmer with that pale glow, turning our planet into a softly shining orb drifting through the dark. If we could forget the danger for just a moment, the sight alone would be breathtaking enough to make you hold your breath, afraid to disturb the serenity of it. But every beauty that comes too close arrives with a price. Ganymede is far larger than our moon, and that means the pull it places upon Earth is deeper, stronger, reaching into every layer of water, every sheet of rock, every hidden breath Earth keeps inside itself. The oceans, still trying to steady themselves after Titan's influence, begin shifting again. This time, not with wild pulses or chaotic surges. Instead, the tides rise like a single long, slow wave. Steady, unavoidable, like a deep inhalation during meditation, when the breath becomes fuller than the body expected. The sea doesn't rush. It glides inland with a quiet, terrifying resolve, lifting coastlines as though someone were gently but firmly pushing from beneath. Below the ground, Earth's tectonic plates, long accustomed to the subtle pull of our moon, stretch again. Tiny tremors appear, delicate as the size of the planet itself. Not strong enough to break the world, but enough to whisper, "There is someone new here." Ganymede does not intend harm. This is simply its nature, the natural influence of a giant moon standing close to a young, sensitive planet. But in that brief moment, Earth feels like a person trying to keep balance while someone unexpectedly rests a hand on their shoulder. Heat stirs from deep underground, rising through thin cracks like warm breaths escaping from beneath a heavy blanket. And strangely, in all this unrest, Earth becomes beautiful in a new way. Ganymede's silver light ripples across swelling tides, weaving shadows and brightness into soft white tapestries fluttering just above the waves. The ground trembles lightly, but the tremor feels like the heartbeat of some ancient ritual, giving the night a sacred, distant resonance. High above, Ganymede stands quiet and watchful, shining like an enormous mirror of ice. Its light is not warm like Titan's, not gentle like our old moon. It is crisp, clean, serene, the kind of light meant for deep meditation, when the mind grows still and the world grows hushed. If Titan brought chaos through warmth and movement, then Ganymede brings a different kind. Lighter, deeper, not a shout but a heavy breath, a weight without words. For a moment, you might feel as though Earth holds two hearts, one beating with its own life, and one beating in tune with Ganymede. Under the steady heat of the sun, heat Ganymede never knew while living beside Jupiter. Its frozen shell of billions of years begins to soften. What first melts is only a thin layer, like early spring frost lifting from a lake. Then larger sheets slide away, revealing the dark waters hidden below. Liquid water, long trapped in silent cold, awakens under sunlight and stretches like a creature returning to life after an ancient dream. Mist forms, delicate, drifting, like pale ribbons gliding over its surface. It reflects light in countless shades of white, making Ganymede look like a slow-turning gemstone beneath a vast lamp of gold. New lakes appear, small but deep, shining like scattered mirrors. Thin veils of vapor drift, dissolve, then gather again, soft as breath upon chilled glass. From Earth's distant view, this transformation looks like witnessing a frost flower blossom in winter. Impossible, yet unfolding quietly in its own grace. Ganymede, once known as a frozen, silent world, begins to resemble a living planet, one entering its very first spring after a billion-year slumber. And in this change, human imagination, so used to painting other worlds, is invited once more. Not through loud revelation, but through the gentle beauty of water returning to life. Through the reminder that even the stillest places can awaken when touched by the right light. Through the feeling that Ganymede is whispering an old story into the space between planets. A story we are only now learning how to hear. Anyone lying beneath its glow, beside a restless sea, would feel both earth and their own heart softening. For when Ganymede melts, we are reminded of a simple truth. Every world has a season to sleep and a season to wake. And sometimes, waking requires only a light that is a little different than yesterday. Ganymede, the white, shimmering lighthouse of the night, no longer merely illuminates the waves of Earth, but reveals its own hidden oceans as well. New beauty, a new shape, a new chapter, and our journey continues to drift gently forward, ready to meet the next traveler the universe is preparing to send our way. Now, the cosmos brings us our next guest, one entirely different, a world that does not melt like water nor shine like ice, but burns from the depths of its own ancient fire. On another night, while Ganymede's silver light has not yet fully faded from the last cresting wave, the sky quietly changes color. From far away, where space is as black as an endless velvet curtain, a streak of red gold begins to drift closer, like someone slowly pushing a glowing ember out of a fireplace into the dark. It doesn't blaze like the sun, nor shine clear like Europa or Ganymede. Its light is the light of warmth, of fire, of restless breaths rising from beneath stone. That visitor is Io. Io does not appear soft as mist or smooth as a liquid mirror. It arrives like a long, deep breath from the heart of an ancient volcano. Its entire surface, bands of yellow, red, orange, brown, melts into a fierce, vivid palette, like ground that has been kissed by sunset over hot rock. There is no ice here to melt, no water to bloom into oceans. Io carries the story of fire, of pressure, of anger compressed and twisted for billions of years. Seen from Earth, Io does not look like a moon of the night, but like a lamp lit for an evening meditation. Its light is not cold like the moon's, but warm, deep, slightly insistent, as if inviting you to come closer to the hearth and warm your hands on a winter night. Yet behind that glow lies a long memory, where Io was tugged and pulled again and again by Europa and Ganymede, two giant siblings, endlessly kneading the hot rock within it. Those invisible hands turned Io into the most volcanic world in the solar system, a sphere whose insides never truly rest. But when Io leaves Jupiter and comes instead to visit Earth, something strange begins to unfold. Without Europa and Ganymede, without those unseen hands grabbing and twisting it every day, Io starts to cool, like someone who has lived too long inside chaos and suddenly steps into a quiet room. Io calms, its breathing slows, and at last it releases the trembling it has carried for billions of years. At first, its volcanoes still hurl fountains of glowing lava into Io's sky, arches of fire curling like burning flags in the wind. But their fury gradually weakens. With no one left to pull at its molten heart, its inner fires grow tired, then faint, until they are nothing more than dim red glows, like coals that have nearly burned out. Once the wildest flame in the solar system, becomes like a warm stone resting in the palm of a hand, gentle and subdued, as though it is finally ready to sleep. For Earth, Io's arrival does not bring world-shaking tides like Titan, nor climate-twisting reflections like Ganymede. Io simply paints the night sky in a soft golden hue, making anyone who looks up feel as though they are seeing the fading embers of an ancient volcanic dream. Yet under that tranquility, something quiet but powerful makes the whole planet pause for a heartbeat. Io is a reminder that even the hottest worlds can grow gentle when placed in the right position. That thought leaves a strange resonance in the listener's mind, a stillness, a reflection. Titan has brought the churning motion of the seas. Ganymede has brought the awakening of water. Io has brought the last warm breath of fire. And each guest changes Earth in its own way, not loudly, not with intention, but simply by existing as another soul in the sky. As Io cools, drifting peacefully like a small coal in the soft dark, you begin to feel what the universe is whispering through these visitors. Every world has its seasons. A season to blaze, a season to rest, a season to melt, a season to bloom. We have only walked through 3 of those seasons. Titan's chaos, Ganymede's awakening, Io's fading flame. And yet the journey is far from over. As Io's fire subsides, space reshapes itself once more. As though the universe is opening another door, leading us toward a world more pristine, colder, more silent by far. A world where light is not fire, not water, but the perfect reflection of stillness. A world called Europa. A pale, silver-white sphere drifts toward Earth. So slowly it looks as though it is floating inside its own dream. Its light doesn't flicker, doesn't flinch. It breathes a soft chill, like footsteps on freshly fallen snow. As Iope, the warm ember of space, glides away, Europa enters like a whisper of ice. The moment Europa takes its place in the sky, Earth's atmosphere seems to shift its tone. That pure, clear whiteness spills down over the oceans, wrapping the sea in a soft sheen of silvery mist. From afar, Europa looks like a crystal globe hanging by a thread of light, utterly steady, utterly calm. Its beauty is unlike Titan, unlike Ganymede, unlike Io. Not loud, not forceful, but the kind of beauty you only dare to gaze at gently, afraid that even a strong blink might shatter its fragile stillness. The long fractures etched across Europa's icy crust reflect sunlight like white ink strokes on old parchment. They evoke the sense of a journal no one has ever opened, a journal recording the life of a hidden ocean so deep that human imagination itself has to pause. That ocean, capable of holding twice as much water as all of Earth's seas combined, is now only a few days' travel away. No longer a distant theory in astronomy books. No longer just a lonely glow near Jupiter. Europa stands right above our own sky, a polite guest so gracious that every time it reflects light down on the sea, it feels like an invitation. Beneath this ice, something is breathing, and Earth, along with the human mind, begins to dream. Dreams of quiet creatures drifting in dark blue depths. Dreams of mineral forests growing along the ocean floor. Dreams of warm plumes rising from the abyss, where the first molecules might be gathering into the beginnings of life. Yet while imagination rises, Earth's climate begins to feel a very subtle, very quiet change. Like a faint chill seeping through a wool sweater on a cold morning. Europa, for all its beauty, brings with it a particular gift, the stillness of the tides. Not as forceful as Titan, not as warming as Ganymede, not as fiery as Io. Europa's pull is as light as a fingertip resting on the surface of water. The waves lose their strong, familiar heartbeat. The seas withdraw from their once powerful surges, and the climate begins to hover between cold and colder. Night grows brighter in a gentle yet wintry way. The land is bathed in a soft white glow that makes roads, rooftops, and treetops look as though they are covered by a thin layer of frost. Europa quietly draws Earth into a kind of conceptual winter. The planet still spins, still holds warmth in its core, but that distant light makes the human mind feel winter even in the midst of other seasons. Still, within that chill lies a beauty that's hard to name. You can imagine standing by the sea one evening, the wind light, the water so smooth it resembles glass, and Europa mirrored there as a flawless gleam on the surface. Under that light, people naturally grow quieter, as if watching a winter lake that has not yet frozen, but is thinking about it. Europa does not bring instant destruction like Titan, nor does it rebuild Earth's inner structure the way Ganymede does. It simply makes everything quieter, colder, and more beautiful. But beneath that beauty, something very small yet very important, is shifting. As the tides weaken, the flow of heat within the oceans grows lazier, and as the oceans change, Earth's climate follows. Not in violence, not in chaos, but in a tiny misalignment, like someone nudging a bowl that was previously perfectly balanced on a table. We look at Europa and see beauty. At the same time, we feel the universe gently reminding us every kind of beauty carries its own price. As Europa begins to absorb more warmth from the sun, a warmth it never truly knew while circling Jupiter, its ice shell slowly changes, not melting violently as ice meeting fire, but thawing in the way of morning mist, gradually, delicately, leaving almost no sign beyond the sense that the light has grown a little softer. Thick layers of ice, stretching for tens of kilometers, start to fade as though some invisible cosmic breath is passing over them. Layer by layer, they sublime into thin veils of vapor that rise into the sky, coil gently, then drift into the cold vastness above. Seen from Earth, Europa now looks like a world losing its sharp white edge, no longer a bold, blinding white, but a pale, tender luminosity. So fragile you might want to reach out and touch it, yet fear that even the gentlest touch would make it vanish. The hidden oceans that once stirred humanity's wildest dreams, places where unknown creatures might be waiting, now begin to rise toward the surface, only to dissolve into space. Vapor drifts upward like the final breaths of a secret world. Each plume of mist escaping from the cracks on Europa's surface carries the feeling of a door quietly closing, a secret slipping away, a story that never had the chance to be told, fading into silence. Earth looks up and feels a gentle sadness, not the sorrow of destruction, but the sorrow of witnessing beauty being taken by time. Like watching the final snowflake melt in your palm or the last streak of sunset sink beneath the sea, knowing the moment will never return. And so Europa, after all its crystal-like nights, after all the dreams of deep oceans and undiscovered life, begins to drift away from its original self. It gives the sky back to darkness, gives the light back to the sun, returns itself to stillness. Europa doesn't vanish. It simply becomes quieter, rounder, lighter, like a feather falling to the ground without making a sound. And as silence settles over Europa like a thin blanket, Earth's sky prepares for a new shift, another visitor, stranger and colder, carrying a story that moves against every familiar rhythm of the cosmos. A visitor approaching from the farthest edge, Triton. From a distance, its light is not soft, not clear, not warm. It is sharp and cold, like a brushstroke of ice across the sky. With a single glance, anyone can tell this guest does not belong to gentleness. It arrives like the pause at the heart of winter, like the instant a lake freezes before the wind has time to whisper a warning. A growing stillness settles and the sky turns a faint blue, like a held breath. This is the moment Triton enters humanity's view. A great icy sphere spinning the opposite direction of all familiar moons. A lone dancer choosing to move backward in a cosmic waltz, keeping its own rhythm on an endless stage. Its arrival makes Earth's space tremble softly, like a large meditation hall welcoming a visitor who brings a blade of winter wind with them. Triton moves slowly, cautiously, but every rotation pulls an invisible current that causes the oceans beneath our feet to lose their rhythm. In that moment, humanity understands that this lunar exchange journey is no simple game of swapping objects in the sky. It is a series of trials testing Earth's ability to adapt. And Triton, with its frozen aura, seems to come to remind us that not every visitor brings tender beauty like Europa. Some bring the shadows of ancient ice ages, laying a cold blanket over the planet's sleep. From Europa's silence, Earth steps into a new chapter, one where the blue-gray light of ice is no lullaby, but a warning. The sky shifts, heavy and slow, like a long yawn before a cold wind. Space itself seems to inhale deeply, preparing to receive Triton. A northborn wanderer of the solar system, a traveler against the current, carrying memories of winters far older than human civilization. Triton, the backward wanderer, and the winter wind of forgotten ice ages. Triton enters Earth's orbit not with the harmonious roundness of other moons, but with a backward spiral, a strange motion that makes every observer hold their breath. If orbits are a dance, Triton is the dancer who chooses to walk backward, to spin against the flow, keeping its own rhythm in the grand ballroom of the universe. In that slow, reverse turn, one can sense it telling a story Earth has never heard. The story of worlds pulled from their anchors, turned upside down, trapped in winters with no end. Under Triton's light, Earth's sky brightens in a very unusual way. Not brilliant, not radiant, but pale, like lamplight shining through thick, cold fog. That light settles over the sea, stripping the waves of their familiar blue, turning them silver and sharp like steel beneath moonlight. And then something strange begins. The ocean no longer rises as it did when Titan appeared, nor does it paint watery patterns as when Ganymede passed by. The ocean becomes still. The tide tightens like a breath held in the chest. Waves stop singing. They simply lie there like a vast sheet of glass reflecting the new face of the sky. This stillness confuses Earth's climate. Winds wander without rhythm. Warmth refuses to spread, and the atmosphere loses its familiar circulation. Everything becomes harder, colder, as though Earth is stepping into a long season of sleep. And on Triton's own surface, wonder and unease continue. Towering geysers of frozen nitrogen erupt from within like inverted lotus blossoms, blooming not with petals but with icy plumes that shoot into the air and fall again as powder-fine snow from a nameless world. From afar, the sight is achingly beautiful, yet so cold it seems to sting Earth's dreams. Triton is not a lantern like Titan, nor a serene crystal mirror like Europa. Triton is winter's breath, the howl of wind in far-off frozen valleys, a cold that doesn't touch the skin first, but reaches deep into the memory of the universe, as though it carries stories of winters older than time itself. And as it circles through the sky, Earth feels one truth with absolute clarity. Not every visitor is born to lull a planet to sleep. Some arrive to remind us that balance is fragile, that life needs its anchor, and that even a slight shift in the rhythm of the heavens is enough to turn a world into something entirely different. And then, when Triton's cold glow slowly sinks past the curve of its orbit, Earth's sky gently closes another chapter of this strange journey. Triton's icy presence leaves behind a long exhale from the planet, the kind of slow breath released by someone waking from a frozen dream, aware they have passed through something larger than words can hold. The sky darkens again, no longer lit by that eerie pale blue, no longer split by those distant columns of ice. Only a vast, still blackness remains, quiet as a lake without ripples. Earth relaxes a little, letting its weary ocean soften after so many bewildering changes. Yet, within that rest, something else waits behind the curtain of night. Something much smaller, much lighter, but carrying a darkness thick as velvet, over a stage preparing for its next act. No more grand arrivals of icy giants. No more glowing orange lanterns. This time, the sky is preparing for two humble visitors. Two small silhouettes from the red dust of Mars. And precisely because they are so small, the sky grows even quieter, as though holding a minimalist secret, fragile enough to shatter with a single touch. Triton has drifted away, and as it dissolves into the distant dark, Earth seems to whisper to itself, what will the next visitor bring? A new kind of light, or a deeper kind of night? And then, the answer begins to reveal itself in the absence, not in the arrival of light, but in the disappearance of it. On another night, when people look up to the sky searching for something to lean on after so many long days of upheaval, they find emptiness. No full moon, no silver light stretched across the sky like a silk ribbon, only a primal darkness, so still that you can almost hear the echo of your own thoughts. In that darkness, once the eyes begin to adjust, two tiny specks appear like two grains of dust floating in the air. Phobos and Deimos, the humble stones of Mars, trying their best to play the role of a moon they were never born to be. Phobos appears as a trembling dot of light, each orbit too hurried, too close, like an anxious soul clinging desperately to the sky. Deimos, on the other hand, is farther, slower, like a faint breath lingering at the very edge of the night. They do not illuminate, they simply make the sky feel as if someone is standing there in silence, trying to say something but unable to find the words. So small and fragile, Phobos and Deimos cannot lift the tides. The oceans do not stir, they simply lie there, motionless, as if resting after a long journey of turmoil. No more gentle rise and fall to lull coastal cities to sleep. No more waves whispering onto the shore, like the steady breathing of the planet. There is only a flat, ink-dark surface, like a mirror reflecting nothing but the sky's own shadow. That stillness throws the rhythm of life out of balance. Winds change direction, the climate grows strange, and Earth's mood seems to sag, heavy and tired. Under the faint light of those cosmic pebbles, the planet looks abandoned, forgotten in its own orbit. It is not only the climate that changes. Every subtle motion of Earth seems to lose half a beat, as if the planet suddenly realizes that although Titan stirred violent waves, Ganymede shook the crust, Io brought fire, Europa brought ice, and Triton brought winter. At the very least, all of them were present. Phobos and Deimos do not bring presence, they bring absence, a kind of emptiness that makes the night thick, heavy, humid, without a guiding glow. And beneath that sky withdrawing into darkness, humanity begins to feel a quiet, creeping unease. If these two tiny moons cannot cradle the planet into sleep, might they carry another kind of danger? The answer lies ahead, in a distant future, but its signs have been there all along. Phobos is slowly, very slowly, falling out of its own orbit. One day, at a moment when humanity may no longer be here to see it, Phobos will either break apart or plunge toward Earth like a sad farewell from a being that was never strong enough to hold its place in the sky. And so, after Phobos and Deimos fade into the night, Earth feels as if it has just passed through a long, deep silence. So deep that all the sounds of the world seem wrapped in a thick blanket of darkness. No more blazing cold from Triton, no more warm orange glow from Titan, no more fire from Io or crystal light from Europa. The sky is like an empty hall after a concert, where the last echoing note is dissolving into the air. Earth lies there like someone who has just wandered through many overlapping dreams, some too bright, some too cold, some too loud. And Phobos Deimos leave behind the strangest mark of all, the absence of light. An absence that makes us realize there are nights that are not frightening because of darkness itself, but because within that darkness, there is nothing to lean on. Yet it is precisely this moment, when the sky becomes empty, that opens a necessary space for the final guest to arrive. Not as dazzling as Io, not as vast as Ganymede, not as mysterious as Triton. Hild, a small moon, white and pure, drifting in as gently as a snowflake in infinite space. The sky shifts color just a little, as if someone has softly laid a veil of light over the eyelids of the night. From that quiet, a tiny world appears, Enceladus, the last guest, and also the softest whisper the universe offers to Earth. Enceladus arrives without a sound, like a snowflake landing on a frozen lake, leaving a touch so delicate that even the water must hold its breath to feel it. From the ground, looking up at the sky, Enceladus appears as a small, pristine white point of light, tiny yet clear, bright yet never harsh. It looks like the moon on a winter night, when the world is reduced to little more than thin streams of breath in the cold air. There is something in its presence that makes people want to be still, to listen, as if this little moon carries a story not meant to terrify, but to gently remind. For all its enchanting beauty, Enceladus is still too small to maintain Earth's familiar tidal rhythm. No more steady waves rolling onto the shore. The sea begins to shift unpredictably, like a heart losing its regular beat. These are not the fierce changes brought by Titan or Ganymede, but a subtle unease, light as a breeze, yet enough to set the planet's climate wobbling. Days grow just a little warmer, nights a little colder. Winter arrives a week early, summer lingers a day too long. These tiny shifts pile up like dust particles until, together, they form a fine mist that obscures the stability of the entire world. As Enceladus absorbs sunlight, its surface ice slowly melts, not loudly, not violently, but in the way condensation disappears from a window at dawn. Under that soft white glow, faint plumes of vapor can be seen rising, with light streaming through them to form pale blue columns, beautiful, like a scene from a dream you wish you could keep. And as the ice melts, Enceladus reveals the deep ocean beneath it. An ocean scientists once believed might cradle life. Now that ocean appears closer than ever, like a whisper that the universe is so vast that even the smallest worlds can hold something miraculous. Yet this loveliness carries a gently sad truth. Enceladus cannot steady Earth. It is too light to command the tides, too delicate to balance the climate. Its presence is like a single candle in a grand hall, beautiful enough to draw the eye, but not enough to warm the room. And then, watching that little white world hanging in the sky, humanity suddenly realizes it has taken a very long journey only to return to the starting point, our original moon, a moon that is not too large, not too small, not too bright, not too dim. A moon strong enough to raise the tides, yet gentle enough not to tear the planet apart. A moon patient, stable, silently accompanying us for billions of years. Something we have carelessly taken for granted. In its tenderness, Enceladus reminds us that Earth's balance is so fragile that just one misplaced breath could push the planet out of rhythm. It reminds us that the universe is immeasurably vast and unimaginably beautiful, but not every beauty is meant to be our companion. And in the moment Enceladus drifts across the sky, like the final streak of light at the end of this lunar exchange journey, we finally understand what the universe has been trying to say from the very beginning. Among all the gifts scattered across the heavens, Perhaps nothing is more perfect for Earth than the moon we already have, the quiet friend who has kept this planet's heartbeat steady, its seas gentle, its nights soft, and its life in bloom. And so, under the thin white glow of Enceladus, Earth exhales softly, like someone who has just realized the value of something familiar they had almost lost, a lesson as light as a breath, yet as deep as the night sky. The story has come to an end now. Sleep well.